remember when I was really into the law of attraction and I was pouring into this idea that if I thought good things, then good things would come to me. I remember I was on this trip in Nice, France in 2016, and I was studying abroad. I was learning Impressionism. We were painting scenes from at different museums, and one day we were in our hotels and we decided to go to the beach for Bastille Day. And everyone else had left. I had stayed and taken a nap. And when I woke up, I was kind of torn on what to do. Like, should I go with the rest of the group? I was kind of nervous. I wasn't really close with anyone on the trip. I said, this is going to be the year that I open up more and I stop being anxious about social interactions. I'm just going to be confident and be myself and go out there. And so I went to the beach and we spent the whole day there and it was great. And that night, a terrorist attack happened and we had to run away from this armed truck that was. The end of that story is that 100 people perished. After seeing something like that happen, experiencing that, it changed my whole perception of the idea of the law of attraction. It really changed my sense of reality, because if I'm trying to attract things to me, did I attract this horrible situation? Is this my fault? I know a lot of these law of attraction and energy type guru people will say, oh well, it's your energy, it's the vibe you're giving off, whatever you put out is what you get back. But did I manifest myself to be in this situation? I would argue that no. I there wasn't anything that I did to put myself in harm's way on purpose. Coming out of that situation, I had to really readjust my sense of reality and how I move through the world, because I couldn't make myself believe these things anymore, and I had to be more practical about my perception of things, because it was too daunting to sit in this idea of all of these meta perceptions while I was healing from this experience. I think when hard things like this happen, it's really difficult to be able to see things positively, to believe that good things are going to come to you, that better things are going to happen, because now you are hyper vigilant, you're trying to keep yourself safe. This time last year, I was really confident about where I was gonna be in a year from the situation I was in, and I was mapping out my success and how I was gonna be financially stable, and I was really gung-ho about all the things that I was doing. I was renting a 3-bedroom house that me and my ex had been living in for the past 5 years as of 2025. He left and I had to figure out how to pay all of those bills, and I wound up having to leave my job at the time too, because I feared for my safety, and there was a whole other mess of things going on there. But I didn't have a job. I wasn't splitting the payment in half anymore between the rent and all the bills. And so I managed to start a series on TikTok that helped me sell enough prints to be able to make it through the end of the year. And it wasn't even just the prints that helped me get through to the end of the year without getting evicted. It was a combination of that and a GoFundMe and dipping into my retirement fund that I don't even know what's gonna happen now, since I've been dipping into that. And then I managed to find a new place that was a little bit more affordable, but with the job that I found, it's still really difficult to manage. And I say all this to say that Like last year, I had high hopes. I had big dreams. I was dreaming big, because that's what all of these manifestation things tell you. Like, you know, reach for the star, reach for the moon, and end up somewhere in the stars, type of thing. And this situation that I'm in right now is not where I want to be. I don't want to be at this job. It is very draining. It doesn't pay enough. I've been looking for another job since last year, and the job market is crazy. And I keep coming across all these videos that are like, oh, just have faith, believe in yourself, keep trying, like, be dedicated, hustle hard, like, and it isn't the lack of dedication or discipline that I've had that is keeping me in this position, right? I feel like I see a lot of videos talking about how I went from homeless to making being a millionaire, and this is how I did it, but you have to buy my course. Or I managed to become a full-time artist, but I'm leaving out that I have a partner that helps pay all the bills while I struggle to do this. Or I have a big fat savings that I'm not telling you about. Or I have a sponsorship. Or I have rich parents. I feel like all of these situations are always leaving out this really, really important detail, this fact that they are being supported somehow. Like, doing this from being broke, from having like being stuck, not even from having nothing, but from being stuck. Being in a job that you have to keep putting time into and energy into to survive, while also struggling to elevate yourself and get yourself out of that situation, is like this cycle, this loop that you get trapped in. Or whatever that responsibility is that you're stuck in. Like, it's difficult to come out of that because you're trying to survive, and now you don't have the energy, you don't have the time to escape that, and you're trying to reach a point where this thing is no longer tethered to you, right? But you can't stop, because then you'll be in trouble. So and I've seen explanations about this where it's like, well, you have to do something different, you have to do something else, you have to move yourself out of that comfort zone into something else, into something that makes you more money, into something that connects you to the right people. What if you already talk to people, you're already dedicated, you're already doing all the work, and nothing is still happening? And these mantras and these ideas, the insinuation is that now it's your fault. This is because you are not doing something right, something you are doing. There's something missing in your strategy, in something that you're doing. Like, you're failing at some point here in this whole strategy, in this whole scenario. There's something that you're not doing. You. There's something you're not doing, and that's why it hasn't popped off for you yet. And then you buy the courses, you take the classes, you pay the coaches, and you're trying to formulate something here and figure out what you're missing. What is this thing that I'm not doing? And spending more money and time to get yourself out of the trap. And really, the thing that they're not telling you is that they are supported somehow. They're like, they have a resource that you don't have and might not be able to attain. It's just like those fitness gurus that are like, you can get a butt like this, you just need to do 3 million squats for the rest of your life. But really, they have a BBL. But really, they got Botox, and that's why their face looks like that. But really, they had work done. But they're not telling you that because they want you to buy into the thing that they're trying to sell you. And that's what this whole thing is. That I can sell you a way to escape the trap that you're in, but you're going to have to pay me money first. But you're going to have to spend your hard-earned, barely livable cash to be able to figure out how to do it. You're going to have to work really hard to escape that trap. What if you've been working hard for 15 years? What if you've been working hard forever? I had 3 jobs when I was going to college, when I was trying to buy a car, when I was trying to elevate myself. And I, like, back in the day, when we had that first recession in 2008, I had 3 jobs. I was running through jobs, like trying to save up money to get out of the house because I was in a bad living situation. So I saved up a bunch of money. I moved out. I had another crazy situation and I had to move out again. Like, these things are not always dry cut. Sometimes it is dedication. Sometimes it really is you putting things in, like just sending things out into the void and trying a million things, and you keep doing that over and over again. But I feel like it's not so cut and dry. Like, I feel like it's not just you work hard and then you get this thing and then you get a prize and then you get a reward and now you have like your fantastic life that you've always dreamed about. Like, how many documentaries have you watched about really successful artists or creative people that, like, they were really successful when they were younger and then they still wind up destitute? They still wind up living in a closet filled with all of their memories with no money, and what was it all for? I feel like what all of these people are selling is hope, right? To have hope in your situation again. And you can have that on your own. You can build that by yourself. You can tell yourself, I'm gonna get out of this someday. And it is really hard to find that, and that's why people pay for it. But it's hard to put yourself in a mindset that is positive, that is optimistic, that is, I'm going to do this, when everything is not like meshing. Nothing's connecting, like things aren't working, and you feel like you keep running through this circle. You're in the hamster wheel going nowhere. And that's why you have to enjoy the thing you're doing first. Find all the things that you love, make you feel connected to something. That flow state when you're painting, that's joy. When you're out doing something and you feel at peace, you feel connected to yourself, you feel, okay, things are all right. This is okay. You need to find a stream of that. Like, get yourself to that middle level at least, to where you're not down here being like, oh my God, this isn't working. I'm a failure. I'm destined to fail. You gotta get to the middle. And that's very difficult to do when you've been at this forever and nothing's working, especially in the times that we're living in right now, which I feel like these sentiments, these like manifestation things are also leaving out. Like, how are you going to build your dream life when the world is like crumbling? The gas prices are up. The laws are changing. The way that we've known things to be is no longer the thing. You got to find the things that you enjoy and maintain that middle level, that peace, that I'm gonna be okay. This is all right right now. Right now. Just think about right now. Am I good? Am I healthy? Am I fed? Am I sheltered? This is okay. This is good for right now. So what are 5 things? Tell me 5 things that bring you joy, that bring you peace, that make you feel like life is okay. My 5 things are: I have an apartment that I can come home to and sleep in. I have a place where I can cook and make dinners and lunches and breakfasts and feed myself in. I have a car that can take me places and take me to work. I'm getting some kind of consistent income right now so that I can pay the rent. And the one thing that brings me joy, not just peace, is being able to create things, my painting, my writing. Well, that's another sixth thing, but my writing, I do have a Substack, and um, and yeah, that the creative outlet that brings me peace, that brings me joy. I mean, that brings me joy. So tell me your 5 things.